that way. If the role is exciting and the role is meaty, it doesn't make any difference. I've heard that expression used very often, type casting.
In the glittering world of Hollywood, where stars rise and fall, one man's light was extinguished in a moment that shocked the world. Sal Mineo, the soulful rebel of Rebel Without a Cause, met a tragic end in 1976. His life cut short in a dark alley. Yet, decades later, new clues suggest the truth may still be out there. Are you ready to uncover the secrets behind his story? Imagine a young boy, barely a teenager, standing under the bright lights of a Broadway stage, captivating audiences with a presence far beyond his years. That boy was Sal Mineo, a name that would soon echo through Hollywood's golden era. But behind the glamour and accolades lay a story shrouded in mystery, a tale of triumph, struggle, and a truth that remained hidden for nearly half a century. What was it about Sal Mineo that made his life so extraordinary, and what secret would take decades to unravel? Born Salvatore Mineo Jr. on January 10, 1939, in the heart of the Bronx, New York, Sal grew up in a world shaped by grit and determination. His parents, Sicilian immigrants, worked tirelessly, his father crafting caskets, his mother steering her children away from the city's rough streets. Sal, the third of four siblings, found his escape in performance. By age 10, he was already stealing scenes in The King and I alongside Yul Brynner, his portrayal of the Crown Prince earning whispers of a prodigy in the making. His mother, Josephine, had enrolled him in acting and dance classes to keep him out of trouble, a decision that would change his life forever. But what drove this young boy to shine so brightly in a world that demanded so much? At 16, Sal's life changed forever. Cast as John Plato Crawford in the 1955 classic Rebel Without a Cause, he delivered a performance that was raw, haunting, and unforgettable. Playing a lonely, sensitive teenager opposite James Dean, Sal brought a depth that resonated with audiences grappling with their own sense of alienation. His chemistry with Dean was electric, sparking rumors of a bond that went beyond the screen. Modern scholars, like those cited in Michael Gregg Michaud's 2010 biography Sal Mineo, a biography, suggest his character was a subtle nod to the struggles of closeted youth in the repressive 1950s, a bold statement in an era that silenced such truths. The film's impact was seismic, propelling Sal to stardom and earning him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor at just 17, one of the youngest nominees in Oscar history at the time. Overnight, he became a teen idol, his dark eyes and brooding charm plastered across magazines like Tiger Beat. But as the star rose, whispers of his personal life began to cast shadows. What was Hollywood hiding about its golden boy? Sal's career soared through the late 1950s. Films like Giant in 1956, alongside James Dean and Elizabeth Taylor, showcased his ability to hold his own among legends. Crime in the Streets that same year saw him dive into gritty urban drama, while the Gene Krupa Story in 1959 highlighted his knack for embodying real-life figures with emotional depth. In 1960, his role as Dov Landau in Exodus, a Jewish Holocaust survivor, earned him another Oscar nomination, proving his range went far beyond the heartthrob label. According to a 2023 article from The Hollywood Reporter, Sal's performance in Exodus drew from his own experiences of feeling like an outsider, a theme that would define much of his life. Yet, even at the height of his fame, cracks began to appear. As he aged out of teenage roles, Hollywood's rigid typecasting and unease with his rumored sexuality began to close doors. Unlike many stars of his era, Sal lived authentically, openly embracing his identity as a gay man in a time when such honesty could end a career. This courage came at a cost. Roles dried up, and the industry that once celebrated him now pushed him to the margins. But Sal was no stranger to reinvention. Could he find a way to redefine his legacy in a world that seemed determined to forget him? Refusing to fade, Sal turned to the stage, where he could explore the raw, unfiltered stories Hollywood shied away from. In 1969, he took on Fortune in Men's Eyes, a gritty play exploring sexuality and power dynamics in a prison setting. The Los Angeles production, which he both acted in and directed, shocked audiences and cemented his reputation as an artist unafraid to confront taboo subjects. A 2024 retrospective in Variety noted that Sal's work on this play was a bold statement against the industry's conservatism, reflecting his own struggles against societal norms. His willingness to push boundaries raised a question. Was Sal using his art to challenge the very industry that had sidelined him? His stage work became a lifeline, a way to reclaim his voice in an industry that had tried to silence him. In 1972, Sal took an unexpected leap into the world of opera, directing The Medium by John Carlo Menotti in Detroit. He also stepped into the role of Toby, a mute, tormented servant, alongside contralto Muriel Costa Greenspan's powerful performance as Madame Flora. This haunting production was a stark departure from his Hollywood days, showcasing his vision as both an artist and a storyteller. According to a 2025 archive from Opera News, Sal's direction was praised for its emotional intensity, drawing parallels to his own life as someone caught between worlds. Behind the scenes, Sal was crafting a new identity, one that defied the constraints of his past. But what drove him to take such a daring risk? His passion for complex, dark characters was evident, a thread that ran through his entire career. Sal's return to television in 1975 reminded the world of his undeniable talent. In a chilling episode of Columbo titled A Case of Immunity, he played Rahman Habib, a cunning assistant to a manipulative diplomat portrayed by Hector Elizondo. His nuanced performance, steeped in political intrigue, was a far cry from the vulnerable teens he once portrayed. That same year, he took on a role in SWAT, embodying a charismatic yet dangerous cult leader whose hypnotic control over his followers echoed real-life fears of the era, drawing comparisons to figures like Charles Manson. A 2025 Entertainment weekly feature highlighted how Sal's choice of roles reflected his fascination with characters who challenge authority, perhaps mirroring his own defiance of Hollywood's expectations. Was Sal drawn to these roles because they mirrored his own struggles against control and conformity? By 1976, Sal Mineo was a man in constant reinvention, a star who refused to be defined by Hollywood's rules. Yet, as he stood on the cusp of a new chapter, tragedy loomed. On February 12, 1976, Sal was fatally stabbed in an alley behind his West Hollywood apartment, a crime that shocked the world and left countless questions unanswered. The mystery that would define his legacy was about to unfold, a secret that would take nearly 5 decades to come to light. According to a 2025 report from People magazine, new evidence has recently emerged, shedding light on the circumstances of his death and reigniting interest in his story. As the 1960s faded into memory, Sal Mineo stood at a crossroads, his once bright Hollywood star dimmed by an industry that struggled to embrace his evolving artistry. The boy who had captivated audiences as a troubled teen and rebel without a cause was now a man in his 30s, searching for a role that would redefine his legacy. Hollywood's rigid typecasting and discomfort with his open identity had pushed him to the sidelines, but Sal was not one to surrender. With a fire still burning within, he turned to the stage, where he could tell the raw, unfiltered stories the silver screen often shunned. What new chapter was about to unfold for a man who had always lived on his own terms? In 1970, Sal seized an opportunity that would mark a turning point. He starred in P.S. Your Cat is Dead, a daring black comedy that tackled themes of sexuality, vulnerability, and power dynamics. Playing a bisexual burglar, Sal delivered a performance that was both bold and nuanced, earning rave reviews from critics and audiences alike. The play, which premiered in San Francisco before moving to Los Angeles, was a triumph, with a 2023 Variety retrospective noting its role in rekindling interest in Sal's talents. For him, this was more than a comeback. It was a declaration of his artistic resilience, a chance to prove he could still captivate and challenge. But could this success pave the way for a lasting return to spotlight? Amid this professional resurgence, Sal's personal life was a tapestry of love, loyalty, and heartbreak. At the heart of it was his relationship with Jill Hayworth, the English actress he met on the set of Exodus in 1960. Their on-screen chemistry as young lovers had blossomed into a real-life romance, one that burned brightly despite its turbulence. Sal was 21, Jill just 15, yet their shared experience of navigating fame forged a bond that was both passionate and complex. Their relationship ebbed and flowed, marked by intense closeness and painful distance, yet it endured through the years. At one point, they even became engaged, a decision that raised eyebrows among those who knew them. Was this Sal's attempt to fit into Hollywood's expectations, or a genuine hope for stability? The engagement, however, was fleeting. According to Michael Gregg Michaud's 2010 biography, Sal Mineo, a biography, Jill ended it after discovering Sal with another man, a moment that reshaped their relationship. The revelation was painful, yet it didn't sever their connection. Instead, it evolved into a profound friendship, one built on mutual respect and understanding. Jill later spoke of Sal's unwavering loyalty, a quality that defined their bond until his final days. Their story raises a question. How did two people so different find such a lasting connection in the chaos of Hollywood? Sal's protective nature toward Jill came into sharp focus during her brief romance with television producer Aaron Spelling, a man 22 years her senior. In 1965, as reported by The Hollywood Reporter in a 2024 feature, Sal's disapproval boiled over one night at a private Beverly Hills nightclub. Seeing Jill with Spelling, he confronted the producer, his voice trembling with anger and concern. "Do you know how old she is? What are you doing with her at your age?" he shouted, before landing a punch that echoed through the room. The incident, witnessed by stunned onlookers, revealed Sal's deep emotional investment in Jill's well-being, a glimpse into a man who loved fiercely, even when it meant crossing lines. Did this outburst reflect unresolved feelings, or was it simply Sal's instinct to shield someone he cared about? In an era when Hollywood demanded conformity, Sal Mineo lived with rare authenticity. While discreet in public, he was open about his sexuality in his private life, a choice that cost him roles but earned him respect among those closest to him. By the mid-1970s, he was in a committed relationship with Courtney Burr III, an actor and acting coach, a partnership that brought him stability and love, as noted in a 2025 People magazine article. Sal's courage to live authentically was a quiet rebellion against an industry that often punished individuality. How did this openness shape the final years of his life? As Sal stood on the cusp of a new chapter, with P.S. Your Cat is Dead earning acclaim and his stage work showcasing his versatility, the future seemed bright with possibility, but fate had other plans. On February 12, 1976, a tragedy struck that would shock the world and leave a mystery that lingered for decades. The events of that night would cast a shadow over Sal Mineo's legacy, raising questions that would take nearly half a century to answer. By the mid-1970s, Sal Mineo had carved out a space of quiet contentment, a stark contrast to the turbulent years that defined his early career. At the heart of this newfound peace was his relationship with Courtney Burr III, an actor and acting coach who became his anchor. For 6 years, their partnership offered Sal a sanctuary of love and creative synergy, a refuge from Hollywood's relentless gaze. Friends described Burr as a steady presence, someone who saw beyond Sal's public persona to the sensitive, generous soul beneath. In a world that often demanded conformity, this bond was a testament to Sal's courage to live authentically. But what did this stability mean for a man who had spent his life defying expectations? On February 12, 1976, that fragile peace was shattered after a late rehearsal for P.S. Your Cat is Dead, a play that had reignited his career. Sal returned to his West Hollywood apartment. As he stepped from his car into a dimly lit alley, a sudden attack ended his life. A single stab wound to the heart silenced the 37-year-old star, his cries for help fading into the night. Neighbors, including a young girl named Monica Merrim, rushed to the scene, but it was too late. By 9:55 p.m., paramedics pronounced him gone, leaving Hollywood and his fans reeling. Was this a random act, or did it hide a darker truth? The investigation that followed was a maze of confusion. Witnesses offer conflicting accounts. Some describe a white man with brown hair fleeing. Others were less certain. The police found Sal's wallet untouched, casting doubt on robbery as a motive. Speculation swirled. Was a hate crime tied to Sal's openness about his sexuality? Did his activism for prison reform make him a target? Or was there a more sinister force at play, perhaps linked to Hollywood's underbelly? With forensic technology limited in the 1970s, the case grew cold, leaving fans and friends desperate for answers. How could such a vibrant life end so abruptly, with so little clarity? 2 years later, a breakthrough emerged. In 1979, Lionel Ray Williams, a 21-year-old pizza delivery driver with criminal record, was arrested in Los Angeles for an unrelated robbery. During questioning, authorities learned he had bragged about killing a famous actor. Under pressure, Williams confessed to Sal's murder, claiming it was a botched robbery. He was convicted and sentenced to 57 years, but the case felt far from closed. His wife's testimony about blood on his shirt and a matching knife strengthened prosecution, yet the untouched wallet and lack of clear motive fueled doubts. Could Williams have been a scapegoat for a larger scheme? Decades later, the mystery deepened. In 2018, author James Elroy and retired LAPD veteran Glenn Martin revisited the case, poring over police files. Their findings, detailed in a Hollywood Reporter article, supported Williams' guilt, citing witness accounts and his confessions to inmates. Yet, a 2024 documentary, Unseen Innocence, challenged this narrative, highlighting inconsistencies like eyewitness descriptions of a white suspect, not Williams, who is black. The film, as noted in the Los Angeles Sentinel, suggested police may have overlooked evidence or faced pressure to close the case quickly. Some speculated about ties to organized crime or Hollywood insiders wary of Sal's outspokenness. Did the truth slip through the cracks of a flawed investigation? The Los Angeles Police Department, already under scrutiny in the 1970s for corruption, faced accusations of negligence. Internal memos, uncovered years later, hinted at ignored tips pointing to a broader conspiracy, perhaps involving financial disputes or fears that Sal might expose hidden scandals. These revelations, detailed in a 2025 People magazine feature, reignited public interest, suggesting that justice may not have been fully served. While Williams remains in prison, denying his guilt, the documentary's push for his exoneration keeps the debate alive. What really happened that night? And who else might have been involved? Sal Mineo's legacy, however, transcends the tragedy. His career, from the raw vulnerability of Rebel Without a Cause to the bold stage work of P.S. Your Cat is Dead, broke barriers and inspired countless artists. His openness as a gay man in a repressive era paved the way for future generations, as noted in a 2023 Variety retrospective. Financially, Sal was savvy, building a fortune through acting, music, and real estate. At his death, his net worth was substantial, estimated at $10 million today when adjusted for inflation, according to City Music. His Los Angeles properties, including a West Hollywood apartment, appreciated significantly, and his estate continues to earn royalties from films like Exodus and music sales. Unlike many stars, Sal avoided lavish spending, focusing on investments that secured his family's future. His courage to live authentically and his artistic contributions endure, resonating with audiences today. As we reflect on his life, one question lingers. Will the full truth of Sal Mineo's final moments ever come to light, or will it remain forever shrouded in Hollywood shadows? Sal Mineo's journey from a Bronx dreamer to a Hollywood trailblazer is a story of courage, heartbreak, and unanswered questions. His unforgettable performances broke barriers, and his fearless authenticity reshaped what it meant to be a star. Yet, the shadow of his tragic end in 1976 lingers, with whispers of hidden truths still surfacing, as recent documentaries remind us. What part of Sal's story struck you most? Do you think the full truth of that fateful night will ever emerge? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if this tale moved you, give a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Next, we'll unravel another gripping Hollywood mystery that's kept fans guessing for years. Stay with us. Sal Mineo's light may have dimmed, but his legacy burns bright. A reminder that some stars shine forever, even in the darkest of nights.